Montgomery Country Club, you can be pretty sure you got the same Emery Farmer. If he was on your side, he'd tell you, and if he thought you were a low-down, dirty dog, he would tell you that in very loud and colorful language. And I think people like that. Now, I will also say, in truth, that between he and Joe Reed sort of had this public show going on that kept the Montgomery voters hypnotized for 15 years, and maybe the city missed some opportunities that it should have taken advantage of. But when it came to personal integrity and having 600 police, if you think that's the most important thing, we definitely had that. We had a lot of outdoor lighting, lots of cops, and the city didn't raise taxes, I think, the whole time he was in office.
Well, one of the things that you see in mayors and governors is they're always chasing the shiny object. Right. He didn't. He always made sure that the trash men were taken care of. Right. That the streets were. We called him up when he was on the radio. You called him up. You get a street pothole taken care of. Got taken care of. And so many people want to. We're going to have a bullet train.
No, that's exactly right. There are two views of, and Bobby Bright was the other kind of mayor.
Yeah.
You had these city growth mayors, and you've got Emery Farmer believed the purpose of municipal government. If there was ever a guy who believed that being mayor was a technical management job, it was Emery Farmer.
That's right.
A buddy of mine was the head groundskeeper at Shakespeare for years, and he was in charge of all those crews out there. Emery Farmer came by every morning, and if there was a gum wrapper on the sidewalk, not only did the mayor of Montgomery reach down and pick it up, he brought it to the supervisor and held it up in his face and played was he a Marine or was he in the Army?
He was an Army guy.
Well, he played very much the outraged Army officer with a delinquent subordinate. Why is no one police this gum wrapper? It's already 6:30 in the morning.
Let's get down to some brass tacks here. A lot of folks think that Dick Brewbaker is responsible for the law that has our school system under intervention.
Okay.
And that
they're free to think that. As long as they don't think that I have anything to do with the Pike Road sale, I'm okay. The Intervention Act, I wrote it.
Mm-hmm. And what was the purpose of you writing it?
Well, it didn't have anything to do with Montgomery. The purpose was we had a lot of systems that, Lord knows, it wasn't just Montgomery. There were 5 interventions before Montgomery. Montgomery wasn't even the worst. It wasn't even first on the list. Well, you had 2 problems. You had systems that would go into financial difficulties, fall below the reserve. And that's a problem, because if you fall below the reserve and then you have any sort of hiccup in your revenue stream, all of a sudden you can't pay your teachers. And then, that's a problem if you can't make payroll. And we had no mechanism for intervening in school systems where there was persistent academic failure. And it wasn't just me. If you look at the vote on that bill, it passed nearly unanimously. People on both sides of the aisle said that the legislature should not be involved in deciding who gets intervened with. It needs to be an elected body, but not us. So the only way intervention happens is if the triggers are hit through either financial problems, gross, some serious violation of law by a school board, or academic failure. The State Board of Education has to vote to allow the state superintendent to investigate or to start the process of an intervention. So the legislature has no vote.
One of the things that seems to be a big problem here, and I sort of agree with my lack of knowledge, I guess, is that we are at 10 meals.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's not a lack of knowledge. That's right 100% on the money.
So why hasn't the leadership, the county commission, why hasn't somebody said we need to fix it?
Hey, you have a lot of things you can accuse me of, but you get on my Twitter feed, you go to any of my public speeches, every time somebody asks me fundamentally, what's it going to take to improve Montgomery's public school system, I say 2 things. We need unified leadership that knows where they're trying to go. Number one, and I mean leadership that the public has confidence in. And the second thing you need is more money. You cannot spend the legal minimum, which is what Montgomery's doing. We are at the state legal minimum. If we taxed ourselves at any lower rate than we do right now, that would be grounds for a state takeover. I mean, it would be in violation of the Foundation Act. You cannot do, let's say it was a car, something I do know something about. If you go out there and spend the absolute minimum you can on wheels that will crank, well, I got news for you. It might run and it might get you where you want to go for a while, but it may not get you there in the style you want to be in. So we're taxing ourselves at the absolute legal minimum. We need more money.
But you are one of the most prolific, profound, notarized politician almost in that sense. How come Dick Brewbaker hasn't convinced people that we need the money?
Well, I guess because this is extremely... The last time, if you look at the last time let me tell you why they're so reluctant to try another tax referendum. Because, unfortunately, I believe they're right. If you look at the boxes, you would think that, okay, it's a property tax, so it's going to do poorly in the wealthy areas and do relatively better in poorer areas where there are more renters. Because, they pay the property tax.
Well, they will, indirectly.
Well, indirectly they will. You're right. You're right about that. I slipped into a Democrat thought there. But here's what happened. On both sides of town, the tax increase was grossly unpopular. And it's going to be even more a harder sell now, because if you look at the last census, Montgomery is getting older. We have relatively fewer voters, black and white, with kids in public schools.
Right, we're actually losing population.
Well, we're losing population, and we're losing between 700 and 800 students a year.
Well, but as a realtor, I've seen this because I've seen people say, "I'm ready to move to Ottawa County or Omar County to get away from the system." But I'm not talking about rich people either.
Well, the middle class, young couples of childbearing age, the biggest long-term problem. I mean, as an automobile dealer, I have a pretty significant financial investment in Montgomery. I have no interest in seeing it fail.
Right.
And what concerns me is my customer, young, upwardly mobile people who are raising families, are bailing to Lee, Ottawa, and Elmore County. I mean, they're fleeing Montgomery like the French Army. Mm-hmm. And it is, and now Pike Road has just accelerated it. And so we have got to, if there was ever a problem that needs to be fixed, if you're going to keep young people raising kids in your town, you've got to provide schools that they feel good about sending them to. But the box we're in is, no matter who does the polling, there's a lack of confidence that change can happen quickly. And so people are reluctant to vote more money. But I'm telling you, as someone who's looked at education for a long, long time now, we have got to have more funding. Money is not the answer. Yes,
it's certainly part of it.
But money is part of this answer. Mm-hmm. Not the whole answer, but it's part of it.
So then we are being intellectually dishonest by blaming all of our problems on the board.
Oh, nobody ever blamed all of our problems on the board.
Oh, okay, we'll be back.
I mean,
Dick Brewbaker, welcome. When you call your comments right after this.
Turner Heating Air Conditioning has been providing the best air conditioning service and repair in the River region for nearly 45 years. If you are looking to replace or upgrade the efficiency of an older system, Tillery offers the best pricing on top-of-the-line equipment. Call today to schedule a spring tune-out or get a free estimate on replacement. 264-2288.
With Zillow, you're not just looking for a house. You're looking for the pool that will turn your kids' fingers into prunes. The living room where your dad will explain the nuances of football to you. Yet again. The kitchen where you'll alphabetize your spice collection and discover a forgotten curry. What is that? In the back of the fridge.
You're not just looking for a house. You're looking for a place for your life to happen. And whether buying or renting, Zillow makes it easy. With smart search features, photos, and more. Zillow, Find your way home.
Have you ever spent a night on organic cotton sheets? If you have, you've probably never slept better. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch. We make the softest, most comfortable, 100% organic cotton sheets you will ever sleep on. You can't buy our sheets in store, only on our website. Because we only sell them online at bollandbranch.com, our sheets cost less than half of designer brands and are twice the quality. You won't believe how comfortable 100% organic cotton sheets can feel until you try Boll & Branch. Hundreds of thousands of Americans love Boll & Branch sheets, including 3 U.S. presidents. Don't just take my word for it. Sleep on our sheets risk-free for a month. If they're not the most comfortable you've ever slept on, you can send them back for a refund. Plus, if you order right now, we'll give you $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com. Promo code REST, spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code REST. bollandbranch.com. Promo code REST.
My name is James. I have a wife, 2 small children, and run a growing business. The other week, I had a one-day business trip to LA. I went to bed after midnight and had to get up for a 6 a.m. flight, so I barely got 3.5 hours of sleep. I didn't have time for breakfast, no coffee, bagels, donuts, nothing. I thought I was toast. But from the moment I landed at 7 a.m. until my 11 p.m. flight home, not once did I lose my stride, focus, or my edge. And I did it all without a single cup of coffee. How, you ask? Dawn to Dusk by Brickhouse Nutrition. You see, Dawn to Dusk is a physician-formulated, extended-release energy supplement which lasts up to 10 hours, increases energy, improves mood, and stimulates your brain. And it does it all with no jitters or crash. Now, I don't recommend pulling 21-hour business benders, but the next time you need a boost, do what I do. Reach for Dawn to Dusk by Brickhouse Nutrition. Go to brickhousetrip.com today and save 15% with the offer code TRIP. That's brickhousetrip.com, brickhousetrip.com.
Every so often, there's a reason to go to the movies. Book Club has 4.
Hi, beautiful friends.
Diane Keith, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, and Barry Steenburgen.
I am not going to let us become those people who stop living before they stop living. Let me introduce you to Christian Green.
Oh, no. Critics are calling Book Club hilarious.
Certainly sounds like us.
A 4-star delight. The must-see comedy of the summer.
Happy reading, ladies.
Book Club, directed by Bill Holderman, in theaters this Friday. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13.
Career training can transform your life forever, but sometimes life is the very thing that can hold you back. At Virginia College, we understand. That's why we've designed career training to fit your life. Some of our programs are a flexible blend of online and on-campus learning, and many can be completed in as little as 9 months. Virginia College, career training designed for you. Find out more at vc.edu. Learn at the speed of life. Motivation with Amazon Music.
You're still in bed? Didn't you go running?
Oh, I overslept. I'll go tomorrow. I'm getting in the shower.
Alexa, set an alarm for 5 a.m. tomorrow to hard rock music.
Okay, I'm up.
The right song exactly when you need it. Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at AmazonMusic.com. Renewals automatically cancel anytime. Rules.
Okay, we are back. We're going to go to phones now and take your calls and comments for Senator Dick Brewbaker. Good morning on air.
Senator Brewbaker.
Good morning.
Good morning. You know how you know tomorrow's election day?
How?
Melissa Snowden called in. Hey, one of the things when they brought up grade 6, and she brought up, you remember when the mayor told us to shut up and they come out with that scam they were going to hire that FBI agent? Have you ever seen the results of what they paid him $10,000 for?
No, I have not seen any official paperwork on that at all.
So we know that was a sham. You know, and you talk about giving more money. The other day, they're going to give this lady more, about $100,000 more than people with successful superintendent jobs. I asked her, I said, what was her accomplishment that would warrant this? And she said, well, she was superintendent of the year in 2011. She heard that somewhere, but it was on DeShira. It wasn't her. You know, who's going to give this board more money when they're going to give a lady who's accomplished zero $100,000 more than people who are successful in this state?
Well, let me ask you a question. Well, go ahead. Finish up.
I thought there was hope with Richardson come into this, but he seems to be part of the scam.
No. Ed's problem is that he's an interim, and he's been around too long to get involved in a bunch of long-term fights that he knows he's not going to be around to finish. I mean, he's already gone, and because he knew he was a short timer from the get-go. I will say he did what he could to try to undo some of the mistakes in the Montgomery intervention, but it's at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the new guy and we'll just see what he's got. But in answer to your question, we've got to find some way to restore some public confidence in the leadership in schools. But I'll tell you this: you've got to pay the market rate. Now, I don't know about the superintendent. I have not gone to the trouble to look at her credentials, but I'll tell you this. I do know that principals in Montgomery County schools, are paid less than principals at similar-sized schools in other counties. And you can get away with that for a little while if your working conditions are really good, but I think we lose a lot of bright young principals when they figure out as long as they stay in Montgomery County, they're going to be making less than if they move 30 miles down the road and work in Lee County. And you've got to pay whatever the market rate is if you want good leadership. And that's just the way it is in the car business or in education, because these principals got families to feed and kids to educate, and so they want to make all they can, and that doesn't make them bad people.
Good morning, call you on there with Dick Brewbaker.
Hey, Kevin, good morning. And Dick Brewbaker, I respect you a whole lot, man. You're a great guy. I hate to see you go. But I do want to say this, Kevin. You know, as far as that fifth grade in the classroom, you got to understand the context. We don't know if it was mentioned as along the lines of being able to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and all the truth with dignity and integrity. So we got to really research that. But as far as the pay, I agree with you on that, Senator Brewbaker. I think what it is that it's the public confidence in that they would choose the right superintendent.
Absolutely.
To pay that. I think what is going on with this current leadership, and I respect them. I know that they want the best, but so far over the years, we've gone through maybe 6 or 7 superintendents in the course of 10 years.
Right.
And I think the citizens' concern is, we're just not getting it right. I understand that we're going to have to pay the money to some superintendent to come and bail us out of this mess, and yet they're not going to come, less than, the ideal rate to actually do that. But I just wanted to put that out there. But Kevin, I want to say this, until there's some accountability shown or what have you. And I got a suggestion. And Dick Brewbaker, I don't know, Senator Brewbaker, I don't know if this will work for you. But if they can pull together a council of retired principals from public schools and also from private schools, and to be able to review the application of the superintendent to make the best choice possible, where you get politics out of it and everything, I think people will be more confident. But as far as this current leadership at the MPS system making that decision, people have lost confidence in that because of the decisions that have been made that wasn't so good before.
All right. Appreciate it. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on there with Dick Brewbaker.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that me?
Yeah. That's you.
Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Senator Brewbaker.
Good morning.
I got the Platinum Edition 50th Buyer's Guide. Best deals of the year.
Okay.
Soon. I bought too soon. I can't pull weeds out of y'all. These kids go by and they're like, now, does the county collect federal income tax?
Does the county collect federal income tax? No.
No? Well, Brian said they collect all taxes. I'm gone.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes.
Okay. You know who me now. Good morning, everyone. How you doing, Senator Brewbaker?
Good morning.
Listen, I got 3 quick ones for you. If you can address, and I want to ask Kevin, let me hang on so I can listen. I got 3 laws.
One, is there a law that you can write where the school systems would have the curriculum that prepares them for the test they're about to make? Number two, a law against people who make false warrants and summons against people that are totally false and proven false. And number three, these youth that are stealing, a law against that would make them have to pay more instead of the $5, $10, $25 a month for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and type of thing like that. And I would like to listen to what you have to say on that. If you don't mind, let me hear, Kevin, and don't hang up until I can hear it, please.
All right, well, on your, let's take them in reverse order. On the first one, yes, the city can set whatever restitution policies it wants to for in local courts. And so the answer to that question is yes. That can be done, but it wouldn't be done by the legislature. And as far as me writing the law, the answer is absolutely not, because I'm as gone as a wild goose in winter. I mean, I am not running for re-election. The legislature will not be back in session until after Election Day. So I won't be, whatever the solution is, it will be left to whoever takes my place to do it. What are the other two questions?
Let's see. Restitution. What was the other question?
False warrants.
False warrants.
There's already recourse against, false warrants. I mean, you can sue someone if you can prove that there was malice. Now, you know as well as I do how expensive that is, and I agree that nuisance warrants are a problem. But that's another one that the judicial system can take care of on its own. I mean, just because people are supposed to show cause before a warrant's issued. And, when they use the term swear out a warrant on someone, that's what they're literally doing. They are swearing, they're taking a legal oath that what they're said happened. And I think the way to stop it is to start pursuing people for perjury. Yep. If they falsely swear out a warrant.
Okay, appreciate it. Let me ask you, one of the biggest questions I've always had is the court calls. Now, I realize that you guys have to figure out how to get money, and without calling it a tax. Okay, but the court calls, almost $200.
Absurd.
Well, don't you pass them?
Well, the last two I voted against.
Okay, you didn't do too good.
No, I didn't, because when the counties come to the legislature, and usually these are county and semi-local issues, and if you look at how court costs are divided up, you do not believe all the people who have their fingers in that pie. And
isn't that a tax on poor folks, though?
It's a tax on everybody who goes through the legal system. And it has gotten way out of hand, because I used to have a file that showed everyone in Montgomery County that got a piece of court costs, and it was 15 or 20 different agencies. I mean, everybody from the DAs to the clerks to the court reporters, you name it. And we've got to find at least a more upfront way to fund